So today we'll be working in my workbook called Jacob's Return to Canaan. And here's the table of contents. We've already done the first 6 chapters. And basically, when Jacob comes down from Padan Aram and he prepares to meet Esau, he separates all his family into different groups. Then in chapter 2, when he's alone in the camp, he wrestles with God. That is, and it's not a wrestle for physical strength, although it appears to that. Obviously, God would win if it was actually physical strength. It's a wrestle for control. And here's where his name changes to Israel. And he also has his hip touched, so it is he limps from here on out, although we don't hear about that. In chapter 3, Jacob finally meets Esau, and it's a good meeting, not a bad meeting. Esau off asks him to come and visit him in Seir. Jacob says yes, he will, but he doesn't. Now, part of it we understand. He wanted to go see his father first, but he never does actually visit Esau. So they end up seeing each other later, but not in Seir. Then in chapter 4, we have a chapter that is not appropriate for children to read. It's Dinah and the Shechemites. It's Dinah having a horrible situation with the people of the Shechem city and what her brothers do about it. Now, in chapter 5, Jacob finally comes to Bethel, where he originally had his first dream of the staircase to heaven. And he makes an altar there and reestablishes his vow with God. Now, in chapter 6, we had the death of Rachel, Jacob's favored wife, at the birth of Benjamin, and then the death of Isaac, which is Jacob's father. So we have the death of those two. Now, the death of Isaac is kind of out of place in scripture since time-wise it's in the wrong location. But we do think that Moses, who wrote this, was trying to move on to later stories and trying to close out chapters of stories. In chapter 7, which is where we are today, he's going to be talking about Esau's descendants. And we get this because Esau comes to the death of Isaac, and he comes, and therefore then the knowledge of all his descendants are now known. And if you were, we have this concept of someone who keeps track of the family lines. And so when brothers come together, you tend to see their ancestral lines taken care of at that point to be brought up into the history lines. And that's what's happening. Esau came to Isaac's burial. And so now we find out about his descendants. So this is probably an ancestry type chapter. So probably kind of a boring one, but it was there in the scriptures, so that we cover it. Let's get to it. Esau's descendants. This is Genesis 36, 1 through 18. And I've rearranged it a little bit for a little better understanding. When you read the chapter on its own, it kind of goes in circles. And so I've just kind of put all scriptures relating to each other together. So here is a breakdown of that. We have 3 wives, Adah, Bishmath, and Olama, and then his 5 sons, and then his 10 grandsons. And that's probably all covered in this chapter. So Genesis 36:1. This is the account of family line of Esau, that is Edom. Esau took his wives from the women of Canaan. Adah, daughter of Elon the Hittite, Olabama, daughter of Anna and granddaughter of Zibeon the Hivite, also Basemath, daughter of Ishmael and sister of Nebaioth. What actually happens in the Bible when a patriarch, in this case Isaac, dies, the genealogy is done of the sons, and this is no exception. Think of it as a gathering of family for the funeral, and everybody meets everyone else. And that's why usually at the death of a patriarch, you have the ancestral lines showing up. Who is the first wife listed? Adah, daughter of Elon the Hittite. Look at in Genesis 26:34 below. If the father is correct, what is her other name? When Genesis 26:34. When Esau was 40 years old, he married Judith, the daughter of Bera the Hittite, and also Basemath, daughter of Elon the Hittite. So her name would also be Basemath. Basemath. How old was Esau when he married Ada? 40 years of age. Who was the second wife listed? Um, oh, oh, Oholabama. Oholabama. Who is she the daughter of? Daughter of Anna. If Oholabama is Judith and women often had different names back then, what is a problem we still have? Um, see. If Oholabama is Judith, then we have two different names for her father. Buried the Hittite and yeah, so we have a little problem here. Is Barry a Hittite or a Hivite? So we have some issues there. Every Bible scholar is in agreement that Judith is Oholabama. So how did they resolve this discrepancy? One theory is that Esau changed her name to Judith, which is Jewish, and also changed her lineage as her parents were upset that he was marrying a Canaanite woman. Another theory is that Anna is actually her mother, while Elon is her father. Who's the third wife listed? That would be Basemath, daughter of Ishmael. Who is the Ishmael the son of? Ishmael is the son of Abram. The scriptures continue. Genesis 36:6. Esau took his wives and sons and daughters, and all the members of his household, as well as his livestock, and all his other animals, and all the goods he had acquired in Canaan, and moved to the land some distance from his brother Jacob. Their possessions were too great for them to remain together. The land where they were staying could not support them both because of their livestock. So Esau, that is Edom, settled in the hill country of Seir. And this is the account of the family line of Esau, the father of the Edomites, in the hill country of Seir. So you see Edom down there. When did verse 6 happen? Although the separation in belief between his father Isaac and himself cemented when he married women from Canaan, Esau seems to have settled in Edom, Seir, before Jacob arrives back on the scene with his family and clan. It probably finalizes at the death of Isaac, knowing Jacob got blessed with all the land on the west side of the Jordan. What is the hill country called that Esau, his family, and all his possessions moved to? Edom. Looking at the map, where's the area called? It's called Edom, but it's the hill country of Seir. Why did they go there? Because the amount of people and flocks and herds and everything they had was too great to be in the land of Israel or Jacob's land. Did Esau also have daughters? Yes, he did. So where exactly is Edom? Edom was an ancient kingdom in the Transjordan, which means across the Jordan, Transjordan, located between Moab to the northeast and the Arabah to the west and the Arabian Desert to the south and east. So we see that. The Seir mountain range runs down the east side, and the famous cities of Basra and a rock city called Petra can still be found. It is mostly a barren desert area now. Petra, which we see a picture of there, may deal prominently in the end times. We don't know, but it may deal prominently in the end times. So the scriptures continue with a genealogy, of course. Genesis 36:4a. Ada bore Ephus to Esau, the sons of Eliphaz, Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, and Kenaz. Number 12, Esau's son Ephus Eliphaz also had a concubine named Timnah, who bore him Amalek. These were the grandsons of Esau's wife, Adah. So you see all this over here. Adah, she had a son of Ephes, and then the son of Ephes was all these other sons here on the right. Ephes had a concubine with Timnah, who had a son named Amalek. So using that as reference to these questions. So Ada, the name means adornment. Who is her father and what is his tribe? So see where I am here. Ada's father is she's the daughter of, who's her father? She is the daughter of Elon the Hittite. How old was Esau when he married her? 40 years of age. Now, Eliphaz, which means endeavor of God, who are his mother and father. This, Ada and Esau. There are some who believe that he, or a descendant of his, is the Alahaz of the book of Job. Alahaz of the book of Job is a Tenamite, and notice one of Eliphaz's son is also Teman. Since the story of Jacob cannot be placed in time other than around the time of Abraham, this is not impossible. Number 4, did Eliphaz have a concubine? Yes. What was her name? Timrah. We know more about her from Genesis 36, 21, 22. These were the sons of Seir and the Horite, who was living in the region: Lotan, Shobah, Zibeon, Anna, Dishan, Ezer, Dishan. The sons of Seir in Edom were Horite chiefs. The sons of Lotan, Horan, and Homan. Timah was Lotan's sister. So we know that Timah was Lotan's sister, who was a sons of Seir, the Horite. Sons of Eliphaz, sorry. Notice that there's one son missing in the list in verse 11 to the chiefs listed in verse 15 and 16. What name is missing from the first list? Well, let's look back at the list. So it'd probably be the last one. Get Amalek. It would be Amalek. Normally it would be the last one because, no, not. Okay, well, let's see for Taman, Omar, Zepho, Kenaz, Korah, Gatam, and Amalek. I'm still thinking maybe Korah. Oh, okay, I see what I'm saying. So in verse 11, it doesn't have Korah, which is the last son, verses 16. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Teman, name means friend, head of the Temanites. Land is also known as Yaman. Teman becomes a chief, as we see in verse 15. The area of Teman shows up several times in the Bible, and here's an example. Jeremiah 49:20. Therefore, hear what the Lord has planned against Edom, what he has purposed against those who live in Teman. The young of the flock will be dragged away, their pastor will be appalled at their fate. And Amalek, name means people that licks up, head of the Amalekites. There was a long hatred between the Israelites and the Amalekites, starting with their attack on the Israelites traveling through the wilderness. King Saul was supposed to completely kill them off in 1 Samuel 15:3, but he did not. Due to King Saul not following what God told him to do, an ancestor of Amalek Haman nearly wiped out the Israelites in the book of Esther. So there's here's some further study on some of the people that were listed in that first line. So now we look at the second line, Genesis 36:5, and oh, Oholabama, or Jewish, Jaham, and Korah. The sons of Esau's wife Oholabama, daughter of Anah and granddaughter of Zibeon, whom she bore to Esau, Jewish, Jalam, and Korah. The sons of Esau's wife Oholabama, chiefs and Jewish, Jaham, Korah. These were the chiefs descended from Esau's wife Oholabama, daughter of Anah. So we have now a little more detail on some of those names. Oholabama means tabernacle is exalted. What was her other name? Judah, I believe. Yeah. How old was Esau when he married her? 40 years of age. Who were her father and grandfather? Oholabama's father is Anna, and her grandfather is Zibeon. And we see that in the scripture that was listed before, that we have read before. Notice the scripture used to tell of Timnah, Ephah's concubine, on page 78. Are Timnah and Oholabama related? Yes, they are related. Timnah seems to be Oholabama's great aunt. So if you look at this, daughter of Anna, and then you look at the scripture that deals with Timnah, and then also see the graph below, they are related. Let's see. We've got Timnah here from the father, the ancestor name of Seir, Timnah, and then we also have Oholabama, which is down here. So basically her great aunt, truthfully. The family of Esau really intermarried with the Horites. Notice scripture below. What honor did both Oholabama and Timnah have? Genesis 36:40 to 43. These were the chiefs descended from Esau by name, according to their clans and regions. Timnah, Apha, Jeduth, Oholabama, Elah, Pinan, Kenaz, Teman, Mibzar, Magdal, and Iram. These were the chiefs of Edom according to their settlements and land they occupied. So Oholabama and Timnah both are chiefs. So now let's look a little bit at the sons of Oholabama. Who are the sons of Oholabama? Are Jewish, Jaham, and Korah. What is the similarity in Oholabama's last son name and Ada's last grandson's name? Let's see. Last son's name, Oholabama. And Ada's last son's name. Let's see, page 78. Best of our knowledge, they're both named Korah. So we look at here, we have Korah D there, and we have here Oholabama's son's name's Korah too. Okay, the best knowledge is that they're two different people. Okay, so then the third wife, Genesis 36:4b, Basemath for Ruel. The sons of Ruel, Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These were the grandsons of Esau's wife, Basemath. The sons of Esau's son, Ruel, chiefs Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These were the chiefs descended from Ruel and Edom. They were grandsons of Esau's wife, Basemath. So you have Basemath and her son, Ruel. I assume she had no other sons. And then he had 4 sons of his. So now, of course, we're going to be talking about them a little bit. So from Basemath, name means fragrance. What is the other name for her? And we based on Genesis 28:6 through 9. And And we've read this before, but now Esau learned that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him to Padan Aram to take a wife from there. And that when he blessed him, he commanded him, do not marry a Canaanite woman, and that Jacob had obeyed his father and mother and gone to Padan Aram. Esau then realized how displeasing the Canaanite women were to his father Isaac, so he went to Ishmael and married Mahalath, the sister of Nebaioth and daughter of Ishmael, son of Abraham, in addition to the wife he already had. So Basemuth's other name is Mahalath. And why did he marry her? Because he saw what Jacob felt about him marrying Canaanite women. So he assumed marrying Ishmael's daughter would solve the puzzle, which of course it wasn't. Ruel means friend of God. Who are Ruel's father and mother? Would be Basemath and Esau, right? Yes. Ruel's sons. What are the names of Ruel's 4 sons? We go back here and see. They are Nahalath, Zerah, Shama, and Mizah. Okay. Nothing else is known about these men other than they were chiefs in the land of Edom. So this time I've given you a word puzzle. And so you could probably stop here and try to solve the word puzzle or do what you can with that. Print it out, do it. I also have the answers on the next page for you. I'm going to wait just a little bit so you can maybe take a look at some places. Normally I unite my chapters with crosswords, but sometimes with a genealogy like this, it's sometimes easier and nicer just to have a word search. But anyway, here's the answers to that puzzle. And this is the end of this chapter. I know it was a genealogy chapter, but those of you who are geeks, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Bye now.